This video is brought to you by our Patreon page. Help us grow and keep creating great content by supporting us on Patreon. Hey, welcome to Color Yoga. My name is Kyle, and in today's mobility practice, we're going to be working some flexibility, mobility into our glutes and our lower back, and specifically using some props or something that you could use at home or in the office. So these are a few exercises that I like to do throughout my day, not necessarily structured in a yoga class or on my mat, but if I have a chair or a desk, or if I just have a wall, you may just find me lying on the ground, stretching into these specific areas, especially my lower back and my glutes. You may see something new if you are a regular on the channel, and if you're not, you can subscribe because I put out weekly videos and your support would be amazing on the channel. But if you are a regular viewer, you'll notice that this thing is new, and I will tell you what I'm doing with this. And we also have a very, very new, probably one time only camera angle. It's going to be a little bit tight, but I want to show you what I'm doing on the wall so you get a good idea of what to do when you're at home. So bear in mind that it's not the nicest angle, but you should have a very good idea as to what is happening. So when you're ready, you can grab your mat and let's begin. Okay, so today we're going to start off with, I would call this the chair, more like the desk or the countertop stretch. Also, we're focusing on the glutes, and I'm going to use this just as a demonstration purpose. This is actually an inversion chair. I was given it by Even Flow. I'll link it down below. This is not sponsored at all, but it's very cool, and if you want to see some inversion stuff, you can let me know. I'm still not sure what I think about teaching inversions online, but I feel like if you have a chair, that's what they're there for. You kind of put your head in this thing, for instance, like so, and then flip yourself upside down. But anyway, that's yet another practice. So with this thing, which why I'm going to use it is because it's got a nice soft padding. So, and I can just show you what I'm in for with this thing. So you're going to be placing yourself down, making sure that you are warmed up in your hips and your glutes. So you may want to do just a few, maybe even just on the ground, some barrel rolls, just working some space, making sure that you're not like stone cold, even just some leg raises. And if you're on a desk at work or in your kitchen or wherever you may be, you can also get like a towel, roll it up and place it down just to place your leg on. So it took a really long time to get there, but here we are. We're going to place our leg onto a flat surface, and if this feels strong, if you're at a desk, you can always move closer to the desk or lift yourself higher off the floor. And if you're on the floor like this and you're placing it onto a chair, you can firstly place a towel underneath your knee if it hurts, or you can come closer to the chair, place the leg down and find a comfortable variation. So you have things to play with. You've got some height underneath your knee and the distance between you and your surface, but you want to make sure that you are square to the surface. Okay, that your knee, your bent knee, is a little bit wider than your hip, and that it is not excruciatingly sore. So you're not looking for any sharp pains, but like a nice dull ache does feel good. So you've got options. You can either stay still here, you can bring your hands forward, either supported onto the chair or onto the table, and working the flexibility, mobility this way, raising yourself up to kind of come out of the stretch and deepen inward, come lower down. You can also take your left hip and do some rotations from left hip to right heel, again working into there. And alternatively, you can press into the surface. Even if you're on the ground, you can raise your back leg up, either toes or press into the feet, and then activate your glute. The idea is that we're going to strengthen the opposing muscle. So all the muscles that push into the glute, we're going to activate those and then hold for however many seconds you can. Release completely. So inhale to activate, to press, release completely, and relax into the posture. So you kind of get the idea. And again, playing around with having your feet flexed or relaxed, but that's kind of the exercise that we're going to work into. So you can move over to the other side, just so I can feel slightly balanced, and you can watch me do this. And this can be done, I sometimes like to do this in the morning when I put the kettle on, or if I'm waiting for my tea or coffee to get ready. I'll just hop my leg onto the counter, and I've got a little towel that kind of stays in the kitchen, And I'll just work into the posture, again, playing around, finding what feels good. You can also, as an alternative, in here you can twist over your left shoulder to rotate into a bit of a back stretch, which feels good. You can lean your arm over your head, which also feels nice, working into a side stretch. Again, just playing around with whatever feels good. If you are on a counter in a kitchen, I sometimes like to extend my legs straight onto the counter, working into a hamstring and opening myself up. And again, just using that countertop as a prop for your stretching and your mobility. And even if you're on a chair, you can use the softness of the back of the chair or the support to kind of rest your head on or hold onto and see whatever feels good. You want to stay at least 2 minutes into the posture, and you'll find that after 2 minutes, you really start opening up in that space. Okay, so making your way back out. And the next exercise I'm going to show you is something that you can do on your chair. So imagining this was your surface and your work chair's behind you. You can start off by figure 4. Okay, this is sometimes more than enough, working into the glute area and the lower back. You can come forward, you can bring your leg over and squeeze in. You can, from here, you can twist and open yourself up into a back stretch. So really looking over the right shoulder, lengthening out the spine, and you can even hold onto the back of your chair just to support yourself. And if you'd like to, you can, from here, also work into the side body, stretching yourself over and stretching yourself, kind of half moon variation. And simply just crisscross your legs and bring yourself down towards the ground. These are all variations you can do on your seat at work or at home at your desk. Again, figure 4, nice active right foot, bringing yourself down, squeezing your knee in, having halfway between full over. So kind of like a seated twist with your legs up. From here, you can take your knee into your chest, making sure to sit upright. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist and deepen, placing the leg all the way down and folding yourself over. Just a variety of different things you can do to, again, use what you have at the time. Sometimes you don't have 20 minutes in your day to dedicate to getting the mat out and laying down. I understand how that goes, but there's nothing stopping you from just taking 2 minutes at your lunch break to get into those postures, especially if you are seated for long periods of time. Getting the rotation into your spine, into the side body, creating openings in the chest, working into the hips, glutes, lower backs does provide a lot of relief. Okay, so I'm going to do away with this support, and from here, prepare yourself. We're going into the side angle. So from here, you want to get yourself, bearing in mind that you are in a position to get onto a wall. If you're working in corporate, they might think you're completely crazy, but maybe not. So from here, you want to have your legs going up the wall as a start, and you want to be fairly close to the wall so that when you bend your knees to 90, okay, let's just see here, your knees, your shins parallel to the floor, and your knees must be on this side, so in front of your hips. So you're looking for less than 90 all the way through, if that makes sense. So your knees will be over your hips towards your top, and feet on the wall and legs at 90 degrees. From here, you're going to raise your hips up onto the wall and place your right foot over your left knee. So you kind of figure 4 upside down, and it'll make sense because on figure 4 on your back, you just swing your hands through, interlace the fingers and draw back. But instead, we're just going to allow gravity to do the work for us, which is kind of one of my favorite ways to stretch. So flexing your toes, placing it down, your hips are now up, keep them square, and from here, tuck your chin, slowly lower the hips down and feel what happens. Oh, that feels good. So that's the stretch. Now, you've got options, same thing. You can have your leg at 90, you could do it halfway. Remember, like a seated twist, same thing we did on the chair. From here, just lower the hips down to the ground and feel the nice stretch. And last one, all the way over. Again, feet pressed into the floor. If you find yourself slipping backwards, bring yourself closer to the wall and lower the hips down. Some should feel more than others. And again, it's about cherry picking which exercises feel good for you. Obviously, bearing in mind that you can see me talking to this camera, but the idea with the mobility series is that I'm going to work through a variety of different postures on each section of the body, and you can cherry pick which one feels good so you can develop your at-home practice. So we're going to switch around. Before we move over, we're going to go, I'll show you one more thing. With your legs completely crossed over, right foot over left, place the right foot down on the ground, and you should feel an interesting stretch on your back. Just bear in mind that you might want to be warmed up, but this is interesting because it kind of works into your IT band, keeping your right shoulder on the floor, and you completely relax. Just gravity is doing all the work. So we'll switch over, set yourself up. You are, let's just say, about a yoga block's length away from the wall. Tuck your chin. Your shins are at 90 degrees, okay? And your shins are parallel to the floor, and your legs are less than 90 for both sides, so your knees are over your hips, okay? And also don't worry about too much. If you are too far away from the wall and you cross your legs, lift your hips and place them down, you don't feel anything, just come closer to the wall. So raise the hips up to the sky. This time I'm going to go the other side, left foot on top of the right. We'll start off with 90, and we'll slowly make our way up the leg, working the stretch all the way around the glute and the lower back. So from here, we're going to lower down and feel a good stretch. And in terms of what to do while you're in here, you can either just stay still and be more passive about the whole practice and more yin about the practice. Otherwise, you can activate, strengthen, so lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes, take a deep breath in, and exhale all the way down to hold for 3 seconds. So inhale, squeeze for 3, exhale, relax, and release for 3. And then you can lengthen the breath. The idea is that your breath becomes longer and your life becomes longer and everything just becomes much, much easier. So from here, you're going to slide your left leg down. So in the middle of your shin, lowering up and down, feeling a difference and feeling the stretch roll on the outer hip, and then left knee over completely, lower and down, and then from here you're going to lower and take your left foot and load all the way to the floor, feeling a nice stretch along the IT band and the lower back and the shoulder. It's amazing. Just give it a try. And again, just making sure that you're listening to your body and you're doing what feels good. And if some things don't feel nice, then back out, find a comfortable, breathable spot. And the thing with mobility is that it takes a little bit of time, and you want to do a little bit every day instead of just loading up on one day every month. Just little bits, finding out what feels good. If you have a tight side, I would say that you should start off on your tight side, then do your less tight side, and then come back to the tight side. So obviously with the dominance, if you are more dominant on the right-hand side, it'll be tighter because the muscles are more developed, so, or maybe not. But start on the tighter side, go to the more flexible side, and then come back to the tighter side. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can let me know. And thank you for watching. Namaste.